June 22nd, 2021. It is Tuesday morning, 6:22, and I have taken a long trade in here and got stopped out for a real small loss, I think a 5-tick loss, and then had this nice little flush here lower to take out the overnight low. And I tried to get in long here at 57, and it just kept trading. My price wouldn't trade, so that's probably one of the issues with being on demo. I don't know if I would have been filled or not, but I was here at 57 trying to pull back to this volume here, and instead of taking the fill, I probably should have. I was trying to keep my stop to about 10 or so, and the lows here at 46, so didn't get the fill, and then had this nice little imbalance push up, and now we've broken these highs, so I should take this order off. I'm not wanting to, if a price comes back here, I don't really want to see that there anyway, but nice trade missed there, and up to 76 already, so that's nearly 20 ticks from where my entry was, but missed that one a little bit. So where are we at? We are in yesterday's range and value here, opening up below the point of control, and also filling in this big low volume node here, and we've just kind of been chopping around in range and balance in the overnight session. So from what I'm seeing here, it looks like we're going to test the upper side of this value range, and we should test the upper side of this at the very least, and then come up into this balance here. But we have this supply zone here. If we reject and fail back down, we could see us testing back down into this lower low volume node and into this anywhere in this demand zone. So that's hard to say right now where that's gonna go, but in the short term, like I already covered in my trade, looking at we have a lot of this week, and this is what I liked here. After the flush down low, we had a lot of weakness here, a lot of weak tops here. All this is weak and could definitely go. My target would have been into the round number around the 73 here in this low volume area, but we could easily trade up into this space as well. Taking a short here, we had the overnight high taken out, and then multiple tests higher, and now one more push up on increased volume. Delta's definitely falling off as well, we can see. And my concept is, for now we've put in this structure, so all of these weak highs here were taken out, and then the imbalance down. Now looking for this structure to hold from below. So expectation would be to move through this range and this value here to come down somewhere in around back down to this low volume area, 73.06, 73 round number. But this is kind of a little value range here, a price flip. So looking for this is what I'm trading back into the failure of this zone to come down into the 73 round number here. So I'm going to talk about my failed long tries. I've had 3 losses so far and 2 missed fills as well, it's been just a kind of a frustrating morning because I was on the right side of things for the most part, took a small loss down right in here, and then tried to get long here at 56, and I just didn't take it. I didn't want to stop in the 12, 13, 14 tick range, and so I missed that trade. And that was a real nice one to take out all of this weakness. I talked about this earlier in the video. And then again, right at the open, the long trades that I had were here, and I got chopped up on 2 tries there. And the reason being for that, and Kelly talked about this in the live session as well, I still have the profile drawn here, so I was leaning on this low tick here and then this volume that was put in right here. And unfortunately, there was also a fair amount of volume, so trading back into that wasn't the best idea. But I thought it was worth a try, and then instead I took two losses, I think a 6 and then a full 10 when I tried again here, and just couldn't get it. And then finally, I tried another entry here when we low ticked this guy, this failure, the bottom side of this range, and then it just moved so fast that I couldn't get it. And Then this guy again too. As soon as this volume was put in, I was trying to get a trade anywhere in here, and it just shot off without me. So I missed that long as well. So let's get back to my current trade though. We have moved back down, so all risk is going to be taken off right here as we've moved down and broken down below these lows here. So expectation would be now for this to hold and then to move down into my target. So anywhere in here is going to be a pretty nice trade here. It's going to be a little bit of a battle here for sure, because we have to get through this high volume area. Price is going to be drawn to this as value, so getting stuck here is definitely potential, but the idea and the concept is that we are going to move through this area and test the lower side of range in this value to this low volume node at a minimum. So that's where I'll be looking to take that off anywhere in the, I have it at 06, but anywhere again in that 20 tick range to take that off, and if we can move lower. But as soon as I get into a position where I can lock in 20, I will do so. I've actually moved my final target down to this 94 area, and this is the edge of this low tick failure here, the top side of this or the lower side of value and range here, and we'll see if we can get there. We've pushed down into, didn't quite get down to this initial 06 area, but we're holding structure so far, so we need to hold this 16 area, but be looking for a final push down. We'll see how it reacts. I mean, I'm not going to mess around with it once we get down to a final push of the 72 round number or the 73 round number, but I do want to give it a little bit of room, because I'll be looking to lock in the 20. But if we can get a nice flush down to that 94, and always watching around the 73, the round number is almost always going to be a reaction. There is a little chunk of high volume is here as well. So we'll see if it can happen. Not going to mess around with it too much though. Let's see if we can get through this this area. Is definitely a little fight going on here at this area. So. Alright, there's that 06 number that was my initial target. We'll see if we can push through it, or if I should have just taken that, but I locked in 20 here as well. So we'll see what happens, and it's looking alright so far. Let's see if we can get one more final nice little push down through here. I definitely don't want to give up much of this trade, and always likely to see that reaction at the 73 round number, but if we can get a nice little final flush, that'll be cool. Not really any crazy volume coming in here, so I don't want to manage it and choke it off too much. I just got taken out. This thing just shot right back up after it pushed down into the 73.01. Looked like it was good to go down into there, and now this came up to 73.11, which is exactly where my stop was for the 20, but that's okay. I'll take it. I think the 06 was probably a pretty good area too, this low volume node, to take it off, but that would have given me an extra 5 to get me at 25. But that basically erases my losses for the morning and puts me up 1 tick. So it's okay. Kelly talked about a little bit in the morning session staying out of this, and I totally agree. It just seemed to make sense at the time on having some kind of seemed to make sense at the time. And it's a fine line between trying to grab opportunity and getting left behind, especially the high volume at the morning. But I definitely could have passed here and then been a little more aggressive. But with a stop this wide here doesn't probably make sense. Where I likely should have been more aggressive is on my entry here at the 56. When price chopped around here, I really like this trade with all the weak highs to the left to come up and break all of this. And so 56 easily, that was a nice 20-30 minimum tick trade there. Likely would have taken that off into into a test or a break of these highs here, so into the 73 round number, so anywhere right in here. And it looks like this thing is going to continue, and it went on a pullback and a retrace up to, where did it go to? 13. So took me out by 2 ticks, and now here we are to the 72.99, and we'll see if it's going to get to that 96 number where I had my target, which is unfortunate. That's another 15 ticks. That would have been a 35 tick winner, but it's all right. Still take 20, and there it is. There's the 96 right there. Just took a big old 15 tick loss on a trade idea here. Expectation was to hold this value area here. We had this low tick that I traded into before. Looked like we were going to push down, and then we imbalanced up, and I took that on the end of the structure here at like 95, with looking to trade into back up into this low volume area here. And it ripped me out in just a minute on this push down. So it was a full 15 tick loss. I actually moved my stop below this to give it a little bit of room at the point of control, and took a 15 tick, which is no reason for that. I should have left my stop at 10 and just taken my medicine and taken the loss, and understood that I was wrong on this trade. And took a long trade here off of this. After I got taken out, we came down and pushed down below the initial balance low on extremely high volume, and found a lot of buying, heavy volume buying, pushed up here, and I got long into the structure at 68 with my stop below the volume here at 58, right around here for about a 10 tick stop into my untested trouble here. So at the time this was untested, so first trouble area was the 85, so I took it off at the 83 for 15 tick win. Something that developed right before my target was hit, was this really high volume came in here. So I almost moved my target because of this, to see how this reacted when we pushed in, because now we have all of this liquidity here to the left, all of this likely and potential to go. The issue with that is that this is a pretty significant flip zone here, so once we come up into this 90, we may reject these lows here and stay and fall back down into this area. And it's getting a little, a couple hours into the session, not real high volume. So, but we did have this. There's definitely some large volume participants still in the market. So, I'm probably going to stick around for a little bit. I'm probably not going to be doing much. I'm basically break even for the day after 6 trades, 2 wins, 4 losses. So, I'm just going to be watching and see how we treat this. We're right at the point of control in this kind of fat part of the profile here. So be interesting to see, though. We definitely have the potential to reverse this and flush a lot of these orders. I mean, there's shorts here, all of the selling on the way down. So potentially stops and nice flush potential to the upside. And the only reason that I took this long trade is because when we came back down into this previous area of interest at the open where we found buyers here, there definitely were buyers after these lows were flushed, and being that so much buying came back in, gave me confidence to at least give this a try into this trouble area almost can call it a counter context scalp, but it is supported by structure. And that's also supported by the longer time frame as far as coming into this demand area where we previously bought out of. I'm going to take another long here off of the same area that I took off of my last long. And so what happened is we came up and we tested well up into the range here and pushed down another imbalance up, and then now we're just kind of at this point of control. And my expectation really is to come up and push up into previous range and take out all of these weak highs here, all of this liquidity. I wouldn't call them weak highs, but all of this liquidity here. And I'm going to try to get this up into the 13, which is this low volume area right here, and see if we can flush all of these highs. Give it a shot. It's 10 a.m. here, or noon Eastern, so right around the lunchtime session. So I don't have any real high expectations. This will probably be my last trade for the day, though. And as soon as we break above these highs, I'll be looking to de-risk as well. But definitely slower than it was earlier. And that's another loss. Small one, -6, I think. I had reduced my risk here below this bar low when we had this little push up. So I think that's going to be it for me for the day. So I'm going to end -5, I think. Right around there. -5 on too many trades, 7 trades today. And that's okay. We'll get back at it tomorrow. Looks like we're breaking down here. And we'll talk soon.